you talk like this, so I don't know if they would really be that punished.
But this is nice to be talked to. Is that what you're saying?
Is it really?
Yes.
I think only in bed.
No, I watch ASMR, and this is.
Why do you watch ASMR?
Because it makes me feel comfortable.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first show of Post Nut Clarity.
Oh yeah.
My name is Tone Deaf in Florida. This is Raya, right to my left.
Oh, I guess Raya alone does kind of sound.
See what I mean? Because she wants to be a share.
It's the name so good you say it once, not twice. Well,
Raya.
I guess Raya Violet.
Like Mariah.
I guess I could do DJ Fire Raya. No, we'll just do Raya.
Okay, Raya.
What's your name? Why is your name so long?
Mine's Tone Deaf in Florida. That's my Instagram tag handle.
Deaf in Florida.
Well, because I used to be a singer and tone deaf music, and I'm in Florida. Or tone is definitely in Florida because I'm not from here. I'm from Jersey, so it's got to play on a couple things.
It does have a play on a couple things, just like Post Nut Clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Means a couple things. I have no idea what the second reason is, but
It's our post. It's our clarity on the news after we on top.
No, that's the part I knew. I didn't know what the other one was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had it, so I have no idea. Don't give me those roll of the eyes. I saw that. So on our first show, what do you want to talk about? Like, this is our first show. Like, how are we gonna do this?
I need to talk about Leave the World Behind.
Who's that?
The freaking movie.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, snippets. Don't try to act like you saw the whole thing. You know how Michelle and Barack, they were like,
My president? Yes.
yeah, he was good. Was he good actually though?
He was amazing.
I mean, I liked him, but I've heard some bad things. I don't remember what those bad things were.
You're always gonna hear some bad things post Nut Clarity.
You are gonna hear bad things post Nut Clarity.
Well, no, okay.
But-
Let's start there. No, we can start there because I will definitely talk. Because this is gonna go into a little bit of politics, which
Okay.
I'm a known person doing such things.
He said, yes, you are.
All right. So tell me what negative things you believe happened during the whole Barack Obama.
I literally don't remember any of the negative things I heard. I more just love him for Michelle.
Yeah, she was awesome.
She's great.
She was definitely awesome. She should have been our next president. She should run. She could run.
Yeah. He should have been the first lady. She should have been the president.
I don't think it worked like that. He wouldn't have been a first lady.
First man.
Yes. Well, is that what they call them? I don't know. But
They don't call them anything because we haven't had a woman president yet when we should.
I mean, we've had them in movies. We've had women presidents in movies.
Yeah, not in reality though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for it.
The
Absolutely.
world would
to
be
qualify.
much better if we did have women. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think
it
war
it
would
goes to
exist.
everyone's. It goes to everyone's like strengths. Like sometimes, there's a lot of women who, legislate just like the men do.
Yeah, because they've been destroyed by the patriarchy. But if we had women running from the beginning, they wouldn't be destroyed by that. So they would have the same similar mindset. Of course, you would have women who do bad and men who do bad if women were running.
Yeah.
But it would be different because it wouldn't be formed by men.
I get it.
And-
I absolutely. I think men have, really crippled a lot of things in this country since the beginning.
In the world.
Well, I mean, since the beginning in general. I'm going to talk just specifically like America, because back in the day, we didn't let y'all vote. We didn't let, we thought black people were 3/5 of a man. So white men have been like brutal to this country, unlike anything that this actually country was founded on. And that's not the way that it should be. And that's why our Constitution is written the way that we do. And then some people want to ignore that Constitution, which is a crime in itself.
And I don't think women would come up with war. Like if we had women from the beginning, I think we would get into arguments and stuff, but we would like have a dance battle. We wouldn't have like these big nuclear bombs. I just don't think women would come up with big.
Well, that would
bombs.
mean that women would have to rule the other countries too, and that's just not in
And
the
they
likelihood.
should.
Well, it wouldn't be the likelihood because part of their
Just like in a
religions.
perfect world.
Well, I'm just saying a lot of the other countries are like raised by religion and like by their religion. Which let's just go with the Middle East. The women still can't show their ankles.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't really believe in religion.
well, I don't either. More people have died in the name of religion than any other war or
Exactly.
any other reason in the history of history.
leading up to that,
Yeah.
I actually think all religion is the same. We just call it different things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, we all support one. Like, I have a higher power, but I more go into like witchcraft, Wicca, paganism,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in Mother Nature and the universe, and I have a
Yes.
strong connection with my higher power.
Yes.
Someone who is Muslim would have Allah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's Christian would have God. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same thing. We're all reaching out to a higher power, and so it's like.
But has yours basically taken money from people, and
No.
has it made you try to kill other people because of their religious beliefs?
No.
Well, that's why it's not the same.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things,
Well,
it shouldn't.
I believe
be...
that they're all cults, and that's just in my book. Let's just call it what it is. They're basically cults. Like, you're feeding into this. This is your life. This is your like livelihood that people live in these. Let's just say, because we're where we are in Clearwater, this is the Scientology capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And do I have to say any more? Honestly,
is Scientology that like aliens are running us?
Basically, they're gonna get into a ship and go. I don't know. It's really stupid.
Okay.
The one that Tom Cruise is in. Yeah.
I think that's the one with the aliens.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, I believe that there's aliens out there. There has to be aliens out there. We can't be the only planet in our solar system that has life, or intelligent life. I just think it's mathematically impossible.
And I already think we have aliens living on this planet. Like, this is the conspiracy side of me.
I do believe that rich people now were very poor in past lives, and I think that was something that I have always believed, that they figured out how to reincarnate themselves and become rich.
I can see that, but I just don't. But it loses its sense of humanity, because if you were so poor, and now you have millions to billions of dollars, and you don't think at all to help people with it.
That doesn't mean that they're humanitarians. I'm just saying that they.
I know, but like.
I mean, there are some that give away vast amounts of their wealth to people, and just the people. Who's the one that Bezos' ex-wife? She's given hundreds of millions of dollars to charities like that, and that's what I believe should be happening. But they don't. A lot of corporate greed has taken over, and which is why the inflation is the way it is now. It's not because of any other reason other than corporate greed, because actually, mathematically, economically, inflation is down compared to what it was in 2020. It was at a high as like 7%. Now it's at a 1.5, but the prices are still high. That's because of corporate greed, and they're posting higher profits than they've ever produced ever. Yeah. So like, it's just corporate greed that's pretty much taken over that. Yeah. Well, we can lead that into the movie that we were talking about.
Freaking Leave the World Behind.
Yes.
And everyone's like, oh, I hated the ending because the girl, she like.
It's ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I don't think it's an ending. I think it's just a warning, because Michelle literally says, like, she had an interview saying sometimes she can't sleep at night because of how much she learned while being like the first lady, and hearing all about what's going to happen, what's happened, and everything. And so the fact that she helped produce this movie, and the fact that in the beginning, like, the Tesla, I believe it was the M3s, all got hacked, and they started colliding.
Well, I think there were all different types. When you watch it zoom out, you actually see the different colors. They're actually in order, like there's white ones and there's black ones and there's white ones again, and they're all different vehicles. Like they're like the Model S's, the X's, and it's whatever the electric vehicles of that scenario. So that's what that was.
Regardless of the model, it was the Teslas getting hacked, which literally just happened, and they had to recall so many Tesla M3s because they all got hacked by, I don't know, I don't want to say China, but it was some foreign,
I don't know if I heard about that one.
Yeah, a ton of Tesla M3s got hacked, and they had to recall all them, and that was right in the beginning of the movie. And then
I think that was to block people from exiting the city. I think that's what the reason that was, for people leaving.
Yeah.
And I that from my interpretation of what that metaphor was, I think they were just trying to block people from the city and just have as many people in the city as possible to eliminate.
Definitely. And now we have the cruise ships
Mm-hmm.
losing power, crashing into bridges.
We've
We have
had that.
the Boeing planes
Mm-hmm.
now, the
Yep.
737s crashing and doing all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and the AT&T and Twitter, like 7.3 million data leaks onto the black market.
Well, the Twitter was actually a lot more than
Dark
that.
market.
It was in the billions, billions of and but the AT&T was, I think it was like 5 to 10 million people.
Yeah.
But they have to be more. This is how people like those companies get sued for these reasons, because their capabilities of being hacked. I just don't think that a lot of these companies should have all this information on us.
I don't
Personally.
believe so either.
That's all the user agreements that we click yes, we opt in, and we don't read. We just
Accept all cookies. I can't tell you how many I've tapped.
It's on
and I
every
just
website.
Don't even think
It's
about
literally
it.
has to be on every website.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but I mean, yeah.
But that's just like what I've been fearful of is, and the fact that from an early age, like,
Mhm.
sue me, I don't think we should be teaching racism to kids in elementary school because kids in elementary school aren't able to weed out yet the difference. And I think that conversation needs to be brought up later in time because I remember growing up in New York, we have everybody. And
The issue with that is that means 9 times out of 10 they'll learn it outside of the school, and they're going to learn it one way or the other, whether it's in school, out of school, parents, their neighborhood. They're going to learn it regardless. It really matters on how they learn it responsibly.
but they don't teach it responsibly in public schools.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, a lot of people show them the material, don't explain the material, so they're not really. I mean, yes, they're not really teaching, but the material is there for them to ingest.
Yeah.
They also have the libraries, but now in Florida, they're banning books that even talk about understanding those type of mentalities of what the different races had to go through. Not just different races, but let's look when the Irish first got here. They were slaves when the African Americans were brought over. They they were second class citizens. Not even, they were third class. Which is why they were 3/5 of the man in the Constitution, which it got fixed, of course, but it's not. There's really no explanation that they're giving too much in schools because they're banning a lot of the books, and you can't talk about this, and these teachers don't want to lose their jobs because to talk about what they know or how they were learned or how they are supposed to teach it. They don't want to lose their jobs because they just got to get one recording and their career is over.
Yeah.
Which is that's the culture that we're in, the cancel culture, which regardless if it's good or bad, people will have someone against you, whether it's very positive or positive negative. You got a lot of trolls out there, which that has to be eliminated.
But I think the biggest thing that teaching kids, like, we are raised and propaganda for school and public schools is to have us all against each other.
Yeah.
And how it was at the end of this Leave the World Behind movie is like, we have different people. We're all going to end up attacking each other, rather all pointing and combining our fingers at the real problem. So instead of,
well, we did that in 9/11. When 9/11 happened, we all joined together. It was very, back. You were a little too young when 9/11 happened, but when 9/11 happened, America was a great place, and there was no real hatred or racism, or it was very cohesive. It was amazing how
I
it
hope
was.
that would be the case if something did happen.
Which unfortunately during that time, the people of the faith of Allah, they were, or Muslims, they were, unfortunately, that was the only negative thing that happened during that time in America. Well, because we did have a very big Muslim population in America back then as well. This was 22 years ago, 23 years ago, but we still had a big Muslim population, and they were getting blamed for, or getting racism towards them because of those events. But like I said,
still do.
Well, yes, yes, but like I said, I'm not gonna belittle and say it was the only thing, but it literally was the only thing that was negative, during that whole time after 9/11, after those souls perished. It was something that brought the community together, brought America together. Steve Buscemi went back to his old fire station and actually helped save bodies. Like Steve Buscemi was a big time actor back then. He was in hundreds of movies. But he went to his fire station, put his old gear on, and went out on his old fire truck. And I respect the hell out of that man for doing something like that. And it was just the type of situation that we had. We were all there mentally, physically. We were all like, I was on the radio I was on the radio that day, that morning. I was on the radio, and like we completely changed. I forgot what the show topic was, but it was instantly. My producer just said, "Turn on the TV." We turn on the TV. Smoke's coming out of the Twin Towers, and our mouths just.
Do you think that was
dropped?
Planned by the U.S.?
Next question.
Okay.
I mean, there is a huge conspiracy theory about it, and I can see, why people believe it. I do see that, I do see how it could have been done by George Bush, but I don't know. Like, there are so many different factors. There are so many different things that could have caused it. Could have just brought them to do that. Like I mean, it literally could have been anything, but I definitely see how they do see it as a possible inside job just to get into a war over there in Afghanistan. And I think that was one of the reasons why we did. Well, that is the reason why we got into the war, but the reason why we started it was for bigger reasons that which I do not know, and I do see how people can see that it was possibly done on the inside. I do see that. Like, there is evidence, but it's not to the point where it's instantly pointing fingers. Because ever since George Bush left office and Obama took over in the 2008 crisis in the recession, he was pretty much on PR overdrive and trying to just flip his entire negative from his presidency, because every Republican president, we go into serious debt. And and then we're in the war, and it's just craziness. So that's, like I said, that's a touchy subject, which a lot of people are going to talk about. There's actually a video on YouTube still about it. I encourage everyone to see that and see what they come up with, which like I said, I see how they would believe it's an inside job, but it's not something that I necessarily believe happened. Like, to the full extent. I mean, I do see how things happened, but I don't see it to the extent. Because right now, if you go through the airports, you go through all these steps, which it's for safety, of course. Back then, we didn't have that. We didn't have any of those safety precautions. I can go in, shaving, and they wouldn't stop you. Like, it was like night and day. Like, with liquids, you could bring in soda. Like, it was. They didn't stop you at the airport for nothing. Like, unless you had a literally gun in your hand, they weren't stopping you. So it's actually
much different.
It completely flipped the script on a lot of things, and it's like I said, I do see a lot of the reasons why people think it was an inside job. I mean, it did make us safer at the end of the day, because we did close up and shore up a lot of loose ends. But right now we are very high touchy. And which is why everyone's going bonkers over the border policy now that, the Republicans are screaming about, even though we tried to fix it and they voted against it. So, like, they just want something to scream about.
People always want something to scream about.
Yes, because they wouldn't have any other platform to run on because they don't have anything else but the border. So that's why they're not even touching that vote. But in the movie, they use a lot of like metaphors in their color usage. You see a lot of blues when it's supposed to be calm and peaceful, and when it's supposed to be like the ocean, very calming, and then you start to see the color change and the palettes change, and then you start to sense danger, and then which is why the ending of the movie is very ambiguous because all you see is the blue screen on her face that she's watching, and then she smiles because it looks like peace and calming. So they did leave it a little ambiguous. So Julia Roberts' character, she was very, well, she was racist to begin with. I'm just gonna say she was a Karen and didn't, want people or other people around, but she specifically had an issue with the black and white. You could see it in the different scenes that they had. When
Oh, I thought I sensed sexual tension.
No,
Oh, I was totally off in the vibe I picked up.
it's not always sexual.
I don't know. The way she was looking at him, I was like, I could get down with some BBC.
Well, I mean, aren't we all?
Yeah.
But it's not. But if you look at it in the beginning, it was always like, when they first got introduced, look how he and his daughter was there, and then him and his wife on both sides of the door. It was light and dark on the sides.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much how they introduced themselves to the entire, to the audience.
I see the metaphor, and I could see, that they're definitely trying to show black versus white. But I'm just saying, I'm not
going to say verse. I'm going to say, I don't, like I say, you never want to say verse because that's not really how it was. It wasn't like they were trying to kill each other.
Well, yeah, but just depicting the light versus dark.
Yeah.
Not having to do with anything else, but I personally would respond the same way because they were renting their house, like they were staying in their vacation.
And she didn't believe it was their house because they were black.
Okay.
Because you didn't see anything of the owners unless you got to his office. His office had all his photos with his family photos and all that stuff. And around the house, you didn't see any family photos. You had no knowledge of it. That's why she wasn't sure of whose house it was. If it was his house, because there was no photos around. She actually says that, there's no
And that's why I didn't pick up on the racism, because I was like, I would respond the exact same way if anyone showed up where I'm supposed to be saying. I would be like, well, I don't see her anywhere around here. Like, show me that this is your house.
Yes, exactly. But because she didn't believe that they could own that extravagant house.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that, but I could see why.
Yeah.
That came in.
So yes, I mean, and she did it wonderfully. And the way she at the end of the movie, they went full embrace. It was how it should have been. But that's unfortunately the hurdles that. But that's how you make a movie. But those are the hurdles that people mentally go through, not to process into the series of the length of a movie. But people take a lot longer to come to that realization of that. But when there's tragedy and like trauma going on, there's, like I said, during the 9/11, when there's big things happening, people find a way to come together and learn from each other and coincide and believe in each other and help each other during those traumatic events. Now you just have to get through that period of can I trust this person? That's but then, like I said, you ultimately get to the point where people have a natural come togetherness when tragedy does strike. Unfortunately, people did lose their life, and that is something that you never wish on anybody, even your enemies. You don't wish that. But the long-standing bridge did come down during a collision with a freight. A huge cargo ship with a lot of weight on it. There was reported that their systems went down, their engines went down, they couldn't stop, which I don't see. That is one of the the ways of the waterways that we did receive cargo ships. So I don't know how they actually got on that path to hit that. But there's got to be more precautions that we have to have, especially on ships that size. I don't know why we didn't have other precautions or different, safety measures put in. I think we need more regulations in how we do our freights.
But that doesn't freak you out?
No. Accidents happen. Look at the oil spill that happened back in Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh when unfortunately things happen. Um, it's not you know it's not really. I mean, it's a small event that killed a couple people, but it's one of the things where we have to plan for, and like I said, we have to put so things that like that don't happen. We have to put more regulations and safety measures into it not happening again and being even bigger. That's something that unfortunately, things have to happen before safety measures get put in place. That's just one of the caveats to putting safety features and regulations on different industries. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Why does it freak you out?
Because that's the beginning of Leave the World Behind. They're on the beach, and then that cargo
Yeah.
ship just.
I think it was an oil tanker.
Yeah, one of the big ships. I don't know the difference between any of them, but washes up on the beach, and then all the planes start crashing. It's just like I feel like everything that's happened in that movie is.
Well, I think that, like I said in the movie, I think it was a result like of an EMP that shut off all their systems, like that, or navigation, which older ships will have the outdated, systems in it. Captains, their steering, like there's a lot of outdated, which is why we need more regulations too, so we can update all of our systems to be more, modern and safer. Like our cars, we go through, how many safety measures we have to put in each car. Like they can't be sold unless it has X amount of safety measures. And I think that before that, we didn't have any safety measures. Man, we didn't have to. I remember as a kid, I didn't wear seatbelts. I stood up on seats. I even sat in the back, like the back of the station wagon. Like we used to just bounce around in it. No seatbelts, no nothing. Now we got to be strapped in like straight jackets.
Yeah.
So like I said, before regulations, something has to happen before they put in those safety regulations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, that's why they put safety or warning things on makeup. Don't eat, because people eat it. People have eaten it and probably died or got really sick. So that's why we got warnings on everything, because people unfortunately possibly died or, got really sick or something happened. So that's what we have to look at it. I don't know if I want to talk about Diddy this early. You want to talk about Diddy this early?
I could talk about Diddy this early. You probably know more about him than I do, because I'm young. Like I know the now Diddy, but I don't know past Diddy.
Well, if you go back and listen to some of Diddy's music, there was always some questionable lines that he had in some of his music. And when this happened with the investigation and the trafficking, it made me go, there's just, I'm not going to say particularly which lines in some of the music, but go back and listen to his stuff and you'll sense some questionable things in relation to what's going on now with him.
And I've heard that he moved Usher into his house
temporarily. Yep, for a couple weeks.
Didn't allow any contact with his mom because he said that his mom was getting in the way of his career.
Yeah, and I can see that. Parents often do, but then he became one of the biggest. What?
He was fucking him.
Well.
He was doing some.
Well, actually, Usher actually had interviews about this time that he had in the Diddy household. He said he talked about the parties that they had and how the women were trying to sleep with Usher and all that stuff, and he spoke about that quite a bit. But he said it was something that he had to learn about the industry, and he didn't really go too much in depth in that. But I mean, Diddy's being charged with sex trafficking didn't necessarily say pedophilia, but we can actually tie that into what's going on with Nickelodeon too.
We could tie that in with, you watched Quiet on Set?
No, but I knew all the stories.
Yeah.
All of them before I even watched Quiet on Set.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either, but I knew a few about Amanda Bynes and
Drake Bell.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Hollywood and the music industry and the entertainment industry was very.
The devil lives there.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna say it's an all entertainment because I've been working in entertainment for 25 years now, and it's not all like that. There is some creeps, I'll tell you, but there's not everybody's like that. A lot of people have respectable careers. A lot of people just are very professional that you work with. Some are not, unfortunately. And that's where you have to be mindful and be take serious of what other people's experience with certain people are, especially when they're bigger in the industry.
Yeah.
You could talk about what's Wiseman. Was it Wiseman or Weisselberg? I don't remember. I can't think. I can't think of his name right now. But he's in jail for a long time. Him and his brother. Well, his brother's fine. Harvey Weinstein. That's what it was. Harvey Weinstein. He was pretty much the big fish that went down. There's more following. Like I said, it's just a snowball effect that people are starting to come out. Corey Haim's been talking about it for decades. So is he's been, a lot of these child actors back in the day were warning people about this industry and what the experiences that they have, and what you know unfortunately that's what they went through, and it didn't stop, and it was actually occurring in the 90s in with Nickelodeon and God forbid any more. Really, I didn't really hear too much on the Disney Channel, but
Yeah, I know Disney Channel's also messed up. But my girlfriend, she was in St. Bart's, and you know how they don't have much security going in and out of St. Bart's because it's such a small island.
mm-hmm.
So a lot of celebrities go and party there, and she was vacationing there for like 2 weeks, and she met these two girls there,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "Oh, you should come on this yacht. We're having a party later. We're with Drake, all this stuff." And so she met Drake, she met Diddy, and she was partying with these girls. Later on throughout that night, those girls tell her they're 16 and
Yeah.
in St. Bart's fucking Drake. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like when
Gonna
you
have to
have
edit
money.
that out though.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Do you know what the type of lawsuit that would bring on us?
Oh.
So I'm gonna edit out his name.
All right. It beep. They fucked beep.
Yeah.
And they were there with beep and beep.
Yep. Well, you can say Diddy because he's all over the news.
He's already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's already fucked.
He is.
More ways than one.
Yeah. I feel, and I know that
Him
Amanda
and R.
Bynes.
Kelly can be doing each other's hair
Oh yeah. Dropping soap.
and peeing on each other.
Yeah. But I know Amanda Bynes was the one that was most heavily.
Well, that we know. But
She seems the most.
Right now, we know that some of the Nickelodeon actors were offered deals to stay quiet, and I have some beliefs that there are one very well-known person, which I'm not going to say because I actually have a connection with this person. I'm not going to say, but I believe that person was on the take of that hush money. So,
Yeah.
But the other one was also on the same show. But I'd rather not talk about that one either because there's some intertwinings from my camp and theirs. So let's not talk too much about that. Always got to watch your P's and Q's, especially when we're talking about the entertainment industry. You don't want to get blackballed.
Fuck pedophiles.
Well, let's rephrase it.
Die.
That's strong. That's strong.
Is it?
I don't really wish death on anybody.
I do.
Well, except for murderers, but.
You wish death on murderers besides pedophiles?
Well, pedophiles, I think they should get a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, and then die.
Well, they probably die from that.
I hope so.
In prison, because that's usually how they.
I hope so.
Well, why is Jared still alive? Anybody? No, but I do believe that. No, they definitely should be. Yes, like I said, I don't want to say because I believe that they need to get the punishment of a lifetime, and they need to get punished their entire life.
Die a brutal death.
But I want them to live long, so they deal with that. Yeah, it's like being in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what
Some murder. I'm honestly like, I'm a cat mom.
Me too.
And I would
Well,
kill
cat
for my cats. If somebody did something or took my cats, I would. I'm
dad.
sorry, I would. If I had an actual human being child and
She
something
has a
happened,
special set of skills that she will come and find you. No.
I would come and find you and I would use those special set of skills to do something else to you because that's
Yeah.
I believe some murder is like I always see moms in jail for murdering their child's rapist or
Yeah.
women in
But
jail who
they usually get a lenient sentence, like 3 months, six
They
months,
should.
a year. Well, no, I agree. I'm just saying, like, like even them in jail doing that, I think that, you know, you have to have some still justice.
Yeah, you just
We
said
have
you
to make
don't
sure our
think-
system works.
Yeah, but you said you don't think anyone should die except murderers, so I was like,
But
there's
they get
some
but they get the
murderers
death
that-
penalty.
Some murderers.
Yeah, some. Well, in some states too, because some states don't have the death penalty.
What do you think about that?
Oh, what? The death
Death
penalty?
penalty.
I think that it's necessary. It's one of the necessary evils. But I think you have to know for without a doubt that that person committed those murders.
Yeah, and I don't think if they want it, they should get it. Because I know a lot of people who,
You know how expensive it is to jail somebody for a lifetime?
well, I'd rather them be jailed and go through hell in jail than just be killed and get off easy.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of it long term.
Long
I think
term
I
is
think I
fine.
think of the social and economic like
Yeah.
type of deal with, you know, the jail system, because there's a lot of flaws in our jail system.
There's
There's a lot of people in there that should not be in, like weed offenders. I don't think any of them should
Any.
be in there, like at all.
No.
Like that should be legalized, and the whole reason why they're not legalized is because of they don't know how to make money on it. They don't tax it correctly. Like I know there's a couple states that actually legalized it, but they can't use credit cards on it because it's not nationally legal. So it's a very cash only system, which
Yeah.
is flawed in itself because you can hide a lot of money.
Yeah. You can do that.
Because it's pretty much grown. It's basically like growing your own money because you're growing the product and you're cashing. You don't have to track it.
Gardening, farming.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So, you know, weed should be legal. Oh, that reminds me. Where's my pen? Oh, it's in my office. Damn it. I'm not going to get it, but that's my thought on, you know, most of that.
Yeah.
What else you got? Kitten?
What else I got? You brought up abortion rights.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about that?
So right now that's on the, you know, that's going to be on the ballot this year, as well as myself. But they want to ban abortions.
Yeah. 6 weeks is.
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
what
even
DeSantis
know
wanted.
you're pregnant at 6 weeks.
Exactly. He wants to ban it at 6 weeks.
I was gonna say 6 months is kind of, that's
Well,
a little far.
Well, it's the second trimester.
yeah,
but-
I would have supported obviously, but
Yeah.
a little far.
What the only time actually, what people don't know is that 99% of all abortions happen before the 20 week. Before 20 weeks. 99%. Only 1% that happens after is because of health reasons for the mother or the child. That's the only reason that those abortions occur. And then regardless of what they try to tell you, that's the only reason, only ones that are after 20 weeks. They're not aborting people 9 months in. They're not aborting babies 10 months right before. They're not doing that. It's not a thing. It's 99% of all abortions happen before 20 weeks. And we shouldn't be talking about what's supposed to happen with a woman's body anyway. Like it's between them and their doctor.
Yeah.
That's it. We have HIPAA laws for a reason. HIPAA laws, and that's where this should stay. So those are my thoughts on that.
Well, I'm glad that those are your thoughts on that because I'm in total agreement.
And
I wrote a book.
you wrote a book about.
I wrote a book about a period fairy named Flo. She's the Tooth Fairy's best friend. So
Interesting.
it kind of normalizes because I remember, I'll talk about my experience. I got my period when I was 9.
Mhm.
And so I started then having the pregnancy talk and entering womanhood talk when I was fucking 9. Like I wasn't entering womanhood. I was still a child and it was just a changing in my
Yeah.
body.
Yes.
And you start getting looked at different, either by family or whatever. Anyone who knows.
When did you grow boobs? Was it soon after?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
10 years old.
So everyone's gonna look at you different.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you shouldn't be supposed to act different as well. I should still be allowed to be a child.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
And so that's why I wrote this book about Flo, the period fairy, because she makes it, you're still able to have that magical, creative side where, like, when you lose a tooth, you have the tooth fairy. Yeah. And at a certain age, you're like, all right, I know she's not real. Well, unless you want to believe she's real. I believe she's real. But with Flo, it's like you still have that feeling of you're still a child, you're still going through changes, and now you have a period fairy that will leave you a prize and, you know, pads, tampons, whatever you need to take care of it. And I think that that is, you know, important. Oh, I brought it up because we were talking about sex ed.
Oh, yeah.
And so I could teach a sex ed class too.
Nice.
I would teach it better to children though. Like, I wouldn't add all the crazy stuff in there.
How old?
I would be a good, like, teacher for, like, 10 through 12, or, like, 9 through 12.
Grade 9 through 12 or age 9 through 12?
Age 9 through 12.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Some people would think that's too young. Some people would say it's too old at that point. Because right now what they watch on YouTube. But
that's even what I'm saying. Why is there an age to know about your own body? I feel like as a woman, like, you should be learning about, it shouldn't be this crazy, gross, different conversation. It should be, like, you're just losing a tooth. You're just going to eventually shed some skin and get your period at a certain point.
Yeah.
We don't know when it is, but that way, because you don't know. My mom didn't know I was going to get my period at 9. She got her period at 14. So then I'm just thinking I'm internally bleeding, which is a very traumatic experience for a lot of younger girls because they don't know what's going on. So I think it should be taught.
Some of them try to hide it too.
Yeah.
Unless they have that talk. Yeah.
And I think a lot of it should be talked around, 6, 7 years old. Like, oh, hey, honey, this is something, that's going to happen to you. It just happens when your body's growing and changing. I don't know when it's going to happen, but don't be alarmed. It's normal.
Yeah. Absolutely. And fortunately and unfortunately, men don't go through anything like that. We just wake up with morning wood. Yeah. And we produce something that, our balls drop too, which is actually it's very traumatic too, especially the first time you get kicked in them. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah. The first time.
Can you imagine? Do they go up when you're in cold water?
I don't think so. No?
No.
Up?
Yeah, I thought they
they try to, that they contract. They pretty much solidify the sack and the ball. Okay. It gets they shrink, but they also solidify because they're trying to keep all the heat in because you're cold. So basically it's trying to keep your body warm, especially that area, that very sensitive area. They try to keep it very warm. And now when they're very hot, you'll see them like sag a lot further than they the way they should is like they should sag, but not as if they're really hot. They're just going to really sag. That's when you start seeing them through shorts. Yeah. Every once in a while, you'll see older gentlemen wearing little short shorts that they should not be wearing.
I'm glad I've never seen that.
Yeah. It's traumatic.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Don't look at grandpas at the beach because they wear Speedos.
I went to a gay beach recently, Sunset Gay Beach. I really liked it.
There's a gay beach?
Yep, Sunset Gay Beach.
I didn't know that.
Yep, I went, and there's a little.
Do you have to be gay to go there?
I mean, I'm gay, so I didn't really have any issues there, but I think there was like everybody there.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of gay people, so you have to be like an ally, of course, because you don't want to.
Absolutely.
If you don't like gay people, it's probably not the best place for you.
No. Definitely an ally. Yeah. Definitely an ally. Yay. Couldn't see it.
Which way?
You said you were gay.
Yeah, I know. Way? I know, but like, see, you can't see either of our hands because we keep being in the black. There we go.
But yeah, I didn't know there was a gay beach.
Yeah, and there's a little surf community, and I ordered a $90 surfboard on Amazon yesterday.
$90 surfboard?
Yeah.
That's gonna be this big.
It was 6 feet tall, but it has a 110 weight limit on it, which I might need to starve myself for a few days to ride it, but it's okay.
110?
110 pounds. Don't look at me like that. But if I don't eat for like a few days, if I just eat granola bars.
Your boobs and butt alone.
Yeah, pretty.
Are Well, yeah, they're pretty, but also 110 pounds.
Yeah, that's. But they had an image of a woman riding it, so I'm hoping that.
I mean, I could Photoshop anybody on that fucking thing.
Yeah, we'll see.
I can
how it
Photoshop
works.
me on that thing, and I'm well over 110 pounds.
Well, I'll try it and I'll let you know how it goes.
You got it. You got it.
I
Because
think it'll be
I'm gonna have a little idea of what, how you're doing. Because I have to lift you up for a movie. So.
Am I really that heavy?
No.
No, the machine's doing most of it.
No, it is. But I'm saying I'll be able to
Gauge.
how fast it goes. I'm kidding. I think we can pick up engines.
The worst.
Anyway, my name is Tone Deaf of Florida. Thank you for joining us, Raya.
You can find me at DJ Fire Raya. I think at
DJ Fire Raya. And I'm Tone Deaf of Florida. On Instagram.
FYA RYA.
FYA? RYA. One word?
Yep, all one word. It'll be tagged down below.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a great day. We'll see you next week. See you.